Okay. Once again, we welcome you to our channel, Future History. I'm Tasaga David, and my colleague here,
Dennis Kajino.
So I wanted to inform you first that we've decided we are going to separate these two channels. The English version of it and then the Luganda version. So Future History is going to be specifically for English and it will be handling geopolitics. And then the other will be called Untold Stories. We were debating on whether we should give it a Luganda name, but we shall be handling that. By the next time, we shall have a final decision.
Sure.
My colleague, Mr. Kajino Dennis, unless you want to start by saying hello to the viewers before we go on.
Thank you, Mr. David, our host today. I really want to appreciate our viewers for the audience they've given us, starting with the Luganda shows that we have been doing. And also they have requested us, just like you've been saying, that we do something in English for the audience that does not speak Luganda very well.
Exactly.
So I am Dennis Kajino for our new audience, and I am a geopolitical analyst. Together with my colleague here, we shall be handling a number of issues. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Just before we go on, don't forget to subscribe, to like, and also to share these videos. We shall start with the situation in Gaza.
Yes.
We came to know that Israel is planning on occupying certain parts of Gaza. I would like you to give us some highlights, some updates on the situation there.
Okay, thank you. Regarding Gaza, just like I have said it, Mr. David, Israel indeed laid out plans for an operation bent on occupying parts of Gaza, especially northern Gaza City itself. And indeed, they have started putting the operation in. They have implemented the operation. Yes, it's an implementation stage, and as we talk right now, the operation is ongoing. Okay. Israeli troops, IDF troops, are inside Gaza City and trying to make sure they sweep away the remnants of Hamas that are in those territories, so they can take over and occupy these territories, and possibly even start some construction in the future. But of course, Hamas has rejected this. They have rejected it outright.
It's also taking its stand.
Of course, no. Yes. They've taken their stand and they're saying, no, we cannot allow this. This cannot happen. And they have sent a warning to the IDF troops and then Israel as an entire country. They are saying IDF is going to pay for this. They cannot simply let IDF occupy Gaza. So that is the situation as it stands right now. Hamas, actually, there's an operation that was carried out about a night or two ago. The Israeli forces were trying to root out Hamas remnants, as I put it area, and Hamas laid a trap for them. They laid an ambush in the deep of the night as Israeli forces were doing the operation, and they managed to kill 2 IDF troops. And then it is said that about 14 or 13 were injured in that operation.
How did Hamas manage to pull it? Of course, we've been seeing and also hearing that it's weak in that area of operating in the night because of lack of machinery that works at that time.
Yes, the equipment. Yeah, it has actually shocked so many to find out that Hamas has the capability to operate even in the night. That simply means either they are just so good at what they do, or they have access to this equipment, such as night vision goggles that help them do these nighttime operations.
Of course, sometimes you don't have to show the enemy whatever you have.
Oh, surely. And since the war has been going on for about 2 years now, we'd think that almost all the supplies of Hamas have run out. But we see that their operations are becoming more and more sophisticated every other day. Meaning that maybe just like you're putting, there's a lot that they still have in store. A lot of surprises for the IDF troops. So when they carried out this operation and ambushed the IDF troops, 2 of them died, like I said, several injured, and these numbers are coming from the IDF itself. So you're not sure if what they are saying is actually the truth. What they are trying to downplay, what actually took place. It is also true that the Israeli forces tried to evacuate those who were injured. They sent in 6 helicopters, 6 choppers, to try and evacuate the injured soldiers, and they too were ambushed by Hamas. Yes. They too were ambushed.
The rescue team was also
The
ambushed.
rescue team was ambushed. Yes.
That's surprising.
So Hamas still has that capability. That is what it seems like.
Okay.
So,
Is that all we have from that side, or?
I think regarding what is on the ground, that is the most important development that we had. Maybe inside Israel about a week ago, we had that I forget his name, but one of the political players in Israel. Yeah, could be Ben Gantz, it should be Ben Gantz. So he's coming out of retirement, so he comes into active politics again.
Okay.
To try and find a way out for Netanyahu, the current prime minister of Israel, because
we are hoping to see a lot of changes.
there could be some political changes in Israel. Also, regarding comments that were coming in from the Trump administration about a few days ago, Trump was saying that in about 2 weeks, the whole situation in Gaza could have gone back to normal. We could be having peace in Gaza once again. So when Benny Gantz declared that he's coming out of a retirement and is joining active politics, it makes me suspicious that maybe they want to kick out the forces of people like Itamar Ben Gvir and then Smotrich, who are extremists and have been pushing Netanyahu to carry on the war longer and longer.
Okay.
And Netanyahu, out of fear, of course, has to do it because he knows once he does not do what they want, then they threaten to leave the government and his government falls apart. And then he can no longer hold power. And as you all know, he has several cases to answer regarding corruption and a number of other wrongdoings by his government. So he knows once he loses his position as prime minister, most likely he ends up in court and probably in jail. That is why he has always done what Bezril, Smotrich, and Ben Gvir have always asked him to do. So Benny Gantz is coming out of retirement, maybe to help him. So with his support, he no longer needs these two people who are extremists.
Okay.
And that is the other development that we could talk about.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Leaving Gaza aside,
Yes.
I'd also like us to look at the situation in Indonesia. There are a lot of protests there. I don't know. Where are people protesting?
Indonesia.
Indonesia, yes.
Indonesia, she has actually come as a surprise to many that we are seeing protests, because she has really seemed like a country that is a bit stable.
Yeah.
Especially in that area. It has been stable, but we are seeing protests now for about 5 days. They've been going
I was also
on.
wondering, I know these people were coming.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering why they're coming up.
Why they're coming out. Basically, it all began with students demanding for payments of allowances from government. I think government had halted their allowance payments, and maybe the economic situation may not be going on very well. And the students reacted by rioting. And so police tried to quell them down. But in the process of quelling them down, I think they used excessive force. And a person, one individual ended up dying in the process. It was actually a deliverer. It was a delivery agent, rather. He was delivering something, and then the police car crashed him on the road. And of course, he died from his injuries. And that is what prompted the entire country to rise up, to erupt in riots against the government. And now they have actually turned into anti-government protests now. Away from the student protests, it is now anti-government.
That means there are some other hidden issues that...
Yeah, always. Usually there are some issues in the background. But one thing we must understand is you've all heard of this organization called USAID, the American organization that is on the surface meant to be helping different countries, especially in the third world, everywhere around the world anyway. But the real agenda of USAID has actually been trying to turn people against different governments around the world and start what we call color revolutions in different governments, in different states or countries around the world, especially those that have tried to resist American hegemony. So it is not surprising that a country like Indonesia, which has been a little stable, is facing this kind of pressure right now.
You're talking about color revolutions.
Yes.
Someone might want to know what really it means.
Color revolution is let's say it's a situation when the masses rise up against the government and overthrow or try to overthrow the government of their country. But in a way that leaves us asking if this uprising was genuine, because in many cases these color revolutions are funded and supported by foreign agents. Exactly. So it's not simply a revolution, but one which is supported by foreign agent with different interests, of course, at heart. And so that is, you said, usually that does that together with different organizations, such as this gentleman called George Soros. George Soros, an American billionaire who runs what we call open society foundations all around the world. And he's known for supporting and funding color revolutions across the globe. So it is very probable, very possible that even in Indonesia, forces such as George Soros and his Open Society Foundation are behind these riots. And most likely they will try to overthrow the government that is currently heading.
So where we see these stabilities, where these people find opportunity to carry out their different missions and agendas.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So do we hope this situation will get any better? Will things be solved any soon?
I believe, I trust the government of Indonesia. The government has remained calm in this situation. They have not acted with panic. They have remained calm.
That's the most important thing.
Yes, they seem to have the whole situation under control. And I believe that with time, these riots are going to fade away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Indonesia for us. I think we should also go to China.
Yes, China.
China, Shanghai. It will soon be hosting the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. What are your expectations from this summit?
Yes, China, just like you put it, will be hosting the Shanghai Cooperation countries in China, of course. I'm not sure which city will be hosting it. Whether it will be Shanghai, actually, it could be Shanghai.
Could be Shanghai.
Yeah. So we are expecting a number of countries to be in attendance, especially countries that have good diplomatic and trade relations with China. We have leaders from around 24, 25 countries that have confirmed attendance. Of course, the most important leaders are President Vladimir Putin of Russia, and then we have Modi, Prime Minister Modi from India. Narendra Modi will be also in attendance, and Pakistan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, I think, would also be attending. Pakistan is not yet sure yet. They're not sure whether it will be the Prime Minister himself or a representative. But one of the two will be attending that summit. And then, of course, a host of other countries, including Iran. President Pezeshkian of Iran will be in attendance, together with the President of Belarus, Lukashenko. Alexander Lukashenko will be there. The President of Kazakhstan, that is Tokayev. Tokayev is going to be there, and a number of other countries. Like I said, about 25 countries are going to be represented at this summit. It's a very important development.
Okay.
I don't know if you
I'm hearing from you.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying it's a very important development, especially considering the developments that are ongoing in the geopolitical world and even the economic world currently. We have seen a lot of bad blood, I could say bad blood, between the US and a number of other countries. At least economically. With Trump coming out and putting out sanctions across almost all countries around the globe. Of course, with major economies such as India and China recently being sanctioned by being sanctioned or being given hard tariffs by the Trump administration. So in that kind of situation, these countries have to seek a way out. They really have to seek a way out. And especially, let's look at the case of India. India has been badly hurt by the sanctions and the tariffs that have been implemented by the Trump administration because of their support for Russia. Though it's not open support, but they have been supporting Russia by buying Russian oil. Russian oil, yes, they continue to buy Russian oil even if it is against the interests of the US. They have gone on to do it. So that is the reason Trump has laid out sanctions against India.
Also.
So India was left with two choices, whether to give up on Russian oil and become a vassal of the United States and simply obey what the United States wants. all stand their ground and say, no, we are independent and we shall pursue an independent foreign policy. And
what do you think is best for it?
For all nations, actually, it's always good for any nation to pursue an independent foreign policy, independent of the interests of any other country. So I think that is what India has chosen to do. They have refused to play along with the diktats of the United States, and have chosen to go independent.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is one of those avenues that they can use to try and develop relations with a number of other countries, to try and, if possible, move away from the United States as an economic, as a major economic partner, since they cannot be trusted.
Okay, so India, according to Mr. Kajino Dense, I think you're on the right track.
Yes, please.
I didn't see any African countries here. Does it out?
African countries
they have not been affected directly by the tariffs.
But the tariffs, Trump is tariffs. We have. In a way, a number of countries have been denied visas. Citizens from several countries have been denied visas to the United States. Of course, we could give a number of examples, but more importantly, that the country that is suffering most or bearing the brunt of Trump's anger, I could call it anger, is South Africa.
South Africa.
Yes, South Africa. Remember, South Africa has had issues between the white farmers and then the black majority, the black majority, who are the largest population, of course, in South Africa. So Trump came out recently, earlier this year, stating that South Africa is being unfair to the white farmers, and even invited some of the white farmers to seek refuge in the United States, and they were given citizenship over there in the United States.
Okay.
So also South Africa's close alliance with Russia, of course, in their grouping, that is BRICS, has been a bone of contention between them and the United States of America. Yes, so Trump is threatening several tariffs on South Africa, and he's actually even threatening to have them taken out of SWIFT. SWIFT is that it is state, not state, sorry, it is Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Transactions, telecommunications rather. That is SWIFT. It is a system that enables all banks around the world to be able to communicate with each other and make transactions across borders much easier. So if you're taking off SWIFT, it can be a very big challenge. It can be a very huge challenge for your for your trade internationally. And that is what Trump is threatening to do with South Africa. I wonder how the South African government is going to react to this. Whether they will cave in to Trump or they will remain adamant, just like India has been.
Wait and see.
Yes.
Just before we continue, I would like to remind our viewers, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Spread the information. I would also like us to look at Russia. Yeah, we have been talking a lot about Russia here and there, but now
maybe before we go to Russia, something small about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization that we could have left out is that the fact that India and China have had a lot of bad blood between them for a very long time.
China.
Yes, of course, regarding their border issues. They have a lot of disputed border areas where China claims this is ours and India claims it's ours too. So there's been a lot of bad blood between the two of them. But recently we are seeing some thawing in the relationships between these two. And it is all arising from what Trump has done.
Okay.
So Trump's mistakes are actually bringing India and China closer.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
So out of, I couldn't call it desperation, but India is trying to seek more reliable partners. And I think they're seeing a more reliable partner in China as compared to the United States. So of course we saw that the Prime Minister Prime Minister of China moving to India to have a few discussions here and there. And then we are also seeing the Prime Minister of India, Modi, moving to China very soon for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. And there's a lot of cooperation that could be done between these two countries. There's a lot that they could try out regarding the economies, of course. One thing we know is China is the manufacturing hub of the world. It is the factory of the world, as they call it. But then China has a few things that it lacks, especially when it comes to the international market. Their market is a bit limited because they do not use English, which is the most widely spoken language in the entire world. Of course, when it comes to how many countries are using it, not in terms of population, but how many countries use that language. And India, the majority of Indians speak English. They do speak English, and they are very experienced when it comes to IT, information technology. So that's why several companies around the world, Europe and America, usually hire Indians for their call centers to try and attend to their customers, customer care services.
Okay.
So China is lacking in that area, and I believe if they cooperated in that area, so that Chinese companies that are doing the manufacturing can hire Indians for their customer care and the marketing and all that, I think it would be a very productive relationship. And that they could be maybe checking out such a possibility.
Comes out a win-win.
A win-win situation, just like you put it, both for.
And I think the US fears that.
Yes, they do. They do. But much as they fear it, they are continuing to make mistakes, which are bringing these two countries much, much closer. And of course, we have the Russia also playing in there. So when you get a combination of the three of them, Russia, China, and India, it's something that that is simply out of this world.
Right.
Yes,
so will be the next big thing.
The next big thing indeed.
Okay. So should we move on to Russia or your
No, that's fine. We can move on now.
Okay. I heard that Russia has ramped up its attacks on Ukraine.
Yes.
Does this mean the negotiations have failed?
I don't know. It could mean both. I think it could be too early for us to say the negotiations have really failed. But that is what it is looking like.
Okay.
We can't conclude yet, but that is at least what it is looking like, going by the developments that you have just quoted there. One thing we could say for sure is that in many conflicts, every time a conflict is about to come to a conclusion, it usually becomes more destructive, more aggressive. Each of the forces fighting one another will try to prove itself in that final lap. Just like you see athletes in the final lap, using all their energy.
Out all their strength.
Exactly. So that is what usually happens when a conflict is about to come to its close. And maybe we could be seeing this playing out in Ukraine. And maybe that's why we are seeing Ukraine intensifying its attacks on Russia, and Russia also intensifying its attacks on Ukraine. Because we've seen Ukraine hitting so many oil refineries and energy centers within Russia. Several of them have been hit in the recent past. And one of the most notable is the gas hub, I think, towards northern Russia, that belongs to a company known as Novatek, the largest gas company in Russia. That was hit recently by the Ukrainians. A huge explosion was there, and a lot of destruction, I believe, was done to that gas hub. And we also saw Ukraine attacking the Druzhba pipeline that transports oil from Russia to the two countries in Europe that are still consuming Russian gas, that is Hungary and Slovakia. And of course, this didn't go down well with the Hungarians and the Slovaks. They really weren't happy with Ukraine over this development, because this gas that comes from Russia through this pipeline, the Druzhba pipeline, is the lifeline of Hungary. It's the lifeline of Slovakia. And also, it's like Ukraine was shooting itself in the foot, actually, because Ukraine buys a lot of electricity from Hungary. Yes. And Hungary uses this gas from Russia to make this electricity. So I don't know what they're thinking about.
I don't know what the calculation is.
Honestly, if Hungary doesn't receive this gas, then they cannot make enough electricity to sell to Ukraine. So, but regarding Russia's attacks, on the other hand, attacks on Ukraine, we've seen them ramp up attacks actually on the major city of Kiev, the heart of Kiev. They've attacked so many districts within the Kiev city, and especially in areas where we have factories that are manufacturing electronics and drones. One of the most notable is a factory that was manufacturing electronics that belonged to American investors. So this factory was hit by the Russians, and it was the first case of its kind. The Americans have already thought the Russians would never hit a factory or any kind of interest belonging to the Americans that is in Ukraine. But they did it. And the Americans came out crying foul, but
I don't know why America usually thinks it's it's protected and nothing can happen to it.
Yeah, they love always to act with impunity. They believe they can do whatever they want, and the other side has no right to react at all. So that is exactly what they were doing in Ukraine, helping Ukraine manufacture electronics for their missiles, for their drones. And then they feel Russia should not be able to strike such facilities. Then of course the other one was the Turkish plant that was said to be manufacturing Bayraktar drones for Ukraine. Yes, Turkey has been constructing this plant for some time now, and they had not just started production, but soon they're expecting to start production of Bayraktar drones on Ukrainian territory. So the Russians also came out and struck this facility. And of course Turkey has been rather quiet about it. They have not spoken out against this attack. Turkey is one country that loves dealing both sides. They pretend to be friends of Russia, and yet at the same time they are aiding Ukraine. So I believe that is one reason why they have kept quiet about this attack. And then maybe we could also take note of the Russian attacks on oil facilities in Ukraine, especially oil refineries that belong to Azerbaijan, the regime in Azerbaijan. Okay. Several of them have been hit by the Russians. And Azerbaijan, just like the Americans, has been crying foul. Why are you striking our facilities? But of course, Russia says these are the facilities Ukraine is using to support its military. The oil, yes, the oil from the refineries is what drives the Ukrainian tankers, the tanks, and all those armored personnel carriers. So there's no way you can say Russia should not be striking them. But of course, there has also been a lot of bad blood brewing between Russia and Azerbaijan for several reasons. Yeah. And maybe this is one of such escalations in their relationship. Yes.
So we are looking at Russia doing all those attacks. As Ukraine also tried to hit some of the targets of Russia.
Yes. Just like I pointed out earlier, that Ukraine has struck a number of oil facilities in Russia and also gas facilities. So it is one thing that we should be looking at. It's not a one-way traffic. Ukraine also is trying its best to strike Russia and cause whatever damage they can to the Russians. But of course, when it comes to firepower, the Russians have much more firepower than the Ukrainians. So that simply means that they will cause more damage to the Ukrainian side than the Ukrainians can cause to the Russians. But of course, we had some rhetoric from Trump recently claiming that unlike Biden, who had stopped Ukraine from striking Russia, for him, I think he could be willing to let the Ukrainians strike deep inside Russian territory. So maybe we could be seeing some more attacks from the Ukrainians on Russian facilities. But of course, this leaves us to see how the Russians are going to react, especially with the Americans. If they have that kind of authorization for the Ukrainians, then what comes out of the Russians about this?
Then we also have this other party coming in. Europe,
yes.
Yeah, Europe is promising to deploy troops in Ukraine as a form of security guarantee for Ukraine. What is Russia's reaction to that?
Okay, Europe. I'm laughing because a number of analysts and commentators have started referring the European leaders, the prime ministers and presidents of these countries, as midgets or minions. Dwarfs who do not have any say really on how events are running all across the world. They are more noisemakers and troublemakers rather than players on the geopolitical chessboard. Okay. They are more of they're just like I put it, they're just causing trouble, trying to cause more trouble for Russia. But actually they're not significant players as they think. Europe has really fallen from grace to grass, as they usually say. You remember the days of the 19th century, how powerful Europe was, taking on territories all across the world, taking on colonies in Africa, taking on colonies in Asia, and earlier on even in Americas. Everywhere they were there. And currently, that Europe is now simply a shell of what it used to be. They have lost that power. Of course, it is the Second World War II that concluded there, and that concluded everything for the European powers. Especially Britain. Britain is really causing a lot of trouble for Russia. not because they are so strong and they can really handle Russia militarily,
Okay.
but like I put it, they are simply trouble causers and trouble causers for Russia, especially through their special services, such as the SAS, the Special Air Services, and then the intelligence services, such as the MI6, which have been aiding Ukraine a lot in these intelligence operations against Russia, such as the operation that was codenamed Operation Spider's Web, where they hit a number of strategic bombers belonging to the Russian Air Force. But talking about their proposal to send peacekeeping troops, as they call it, peacekeeping, of course, in quotes, to Ukraine. Of course, this is a non-starter with Russia. It's a non-starter. It simply can't happen. It can't be accepted. And the Foreign Minister of Russia, the very respected Sergei Lavrov, has come out to put it clear to the Europeans that this is not acceptable. It's not allowed. Russia shall not stand it. And they
Maybe
should.
they're just trying to earn recognition and so we are also there.
One thing I do think is they could be thinking that maybe if they promise to put in troops, then they could receive some support from the United States. But of course, without United States support, they can hardly do anything, because they know all those troops are going to be targeted by the Russians, and they'll simply end up sending back their young boys, their young men, in coffins. in coffins, yes. So that is where we're standing, and the Russians cannot accept this, surely, because we must remember that the very cause of this war was the threat that Europe and NATO was putting was putting on Russia, because Russia was threatened by the developments that were happening in Europe, how NATO was expanding eastward towards its western border. It's taking up all those countries that were acting as buffer zones between Russia and NATO. And of course, I think the last one should have been Ukraine, which of course, that is when Russia, of course, put up a stand and said, no, we can no longer accept this. So if we talk over peacekeeping troops from NATO countries in Ukraine, you've gone back to the very starting point of everything.
Oh, I see.
Exactly. Because this is the very reason that prompted Russia to start this war, to try and stop NATO from coming closer. And now, if one of the things NATO is trying to do against deploy troops, then that means the war should
There's no way they can accept that.
It cannot be accepted, surely. Russia cannot accept that.
Okay, please, to our viewers, please continue subscribing and like and share the video, share the information. Mr. Kajino Denson,
Yes,
there is something else you want to chip in and
there's not much really. I only want to thank our audience, our viewers, for all this continued support. Just like you have put it, we should grow the community by continuing to subscribe and of course sharing this link and information with several other people out there, so our community can grow. Thank you.
okay, please. Thank you, our viewers. This is Future History, and don't forget, you get the other Luganda versions on the Untold Stories. Thank you very much. Till next time.